What if I told you that you could buy a home and have someone else pay your mortgage? Not just a dream, my friend. It's called house hacking. And today I'm pulling back the curtain on one of the most powerful, overlooked wealth building strategies in real estate. And the best part, you don't have to be rich to do it. You just have to be smart. Hey there, I'm Josh Laskett with Laskett Real Estate Services. I'm a realtor, a problem solver, and someone who truly believes in helping people not just buy homes, but build legacies. Today, we're talking about house hacking, and I'm going to show you what it is, how it works, whether it's right for you, and the exact steps that you can take to pull it off. Stick with me to the end, because I'll be sharing my favorite house hacking strategies and some of the real numbers from local clients who've done it successfully. All right, let's talk house hacking. At its core, house hacking is when you buy a property and rent out part of it to help offset your living expenses. It could be a duplex, triplex, fourplex, or even a single family home where you rent out extra bedrooms, a finished basement, or a converted garage, or even a backyard ADU. You live in one part and you rent out the rest. And here's where the magic happens. By reducing your biggest monthly expense, your housing, you start to build equity, benefit from appreciation, and enter the world of real estate investing without needing to buy multiple properties or have deep pockets. But this isn't just theory. This is personal. You see, my family and we've been house hacking for the last 15 years. It started when we made a major career move and relocated back to California. I was shifting into a new chapter professionally and knew we had to be smart about how we handled our housing costs because California living isn't exactly gentle on the wallet. We bought a duplex, not a castle, not a dream home, just a smart, solid move. We lived in one unit and rented out the other. And right away, we felt the difference, not just financially, but mentally. That sense of breathing room, of margin, of progress. And it worked so well for us that a few years later, we did it again. We upgraded to a larger duplex in a better location. Same strategy, live in one, rent the other. But now with a bit more space, a bit more income, and a whole lot more confidence. And honestly, the rest is history. That one decision shaped our financial future. We were raising 3 kids while building equity, gaining stability, and laying the groundwork for something bigger than ourselves. Now, it wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always easy. There were tenants, there were repairs, and there were sacrifices. But what we gained, freedom, flexibility, a real shot at building a legacy. And let me be clear. House hacking isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a slow and steady play like the tortoise and the hare. It's not flashy, but it works. We didn't start out wealthy. We just started with what we had, a willingness to live a little differently and a desire to build something better for our family. So when I talk about house hacking, I'm not speaking from a textbook or selling a pipe dream. I'm speaking from real-life experience. This strategy changed the course of our lives. And if you're willing to be strategic, creative, and just a little bit bold, it can change yours too. So let's break down the different kinds of house hacks, shall we? Because the beautiful thing about house hacking is that it's flexible. It can be molded to fit your life, your budget, and your goals. No cookie cutter plan here. Just smart strategy tailored to you. Number 1 is multifamily hack. This is duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. Best for FHA, VA, or conventional buyers wanting built-in tenants. The pros here are separate entrances, separate meters, separate lives, aka privacy. The cons are higher upfront costs and limited inventory in some markets. This one's the gold standard. It's the type of house hack that my family and I started with, and the one we repeated because it worked so well. You live in one unit, you rent out the others. Your tenants help cover the mortgage, and everyone has their own space. Think of it like a mini apartment complex that you own and also happen to live in. Here's an example. You buy a duplex in Sacramento for $575,000. You put 3.5% down with an FHA loan. Live in Unit A, rent out Unit B for $1,800 a month. Suddenly, your $3,200 mortgage feels way more manageable. Yes, it takes a little more capital up front, and yes, you've got to compete with investors. But the payoff? Steady, sustainable, and scalable. Number two, you've got the roommate strategy. And this is typically with single family homes. Now, this is best for first time buyers on a tighter budget. The pros are cheapest way to get started. The cons, you're sharing bathrooms and fridge space. Get ready for the mystery leftovers. This one is simple, scrappy, and surprisingly powerful. You buy a regular old house with a few bedrooms and rent those rooms out. You can rent to friends, coworkers, college students, traveling nurses, whoever fits your lifestyle. It's perfect for younger buyers or folks who don't mind a little company. Sure, there's less privacy, and yeah, you might hear someone reheating spaghetti at 1 a.m. But guess what? Your rent is slashed or completely covered, and that's a trade-off worth considering. Here's a pro tip. Look for homes with multiple bathrooms and a nice common area. It'll make the sharing living experience smoother for everyone. Now, I've worked with a client who paid nothing out of pocket each month because they lived with 3 roommates who each paid rent. Was it ideal forever? No. But it helped them save, invest, and buy their next home in just a few years. Now, number 3 is a basement, a garage, an ADU rental. Now, this is best for homeowners with extra space or renovation savvy. Pros are strong rental income potential with semi-privacy. The cons, they can require permits, capital, and sweat equity. This one's for the doers, the renovators, the fixer-upper fans. If you've got a basement, a garage, a detached unit, or even a shed you can turn into a tiny home, this strategy might be your jam. Renting out an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit, or converted space gives you the best of both worlds, privacy and passive income. Here's an example for you. One of my clients in Fair Oaks turned a large detached garage into a stunning studio apartment. Now, after permits, plumbing, and a little elbow grease, they rent it for $1,600 a month on a long-term lease. That's $1,600 every month for what used to store Christmas decorations. Now, here's a little word of caution. Make sure to check your city zoning and permitting rules. Sacramento County, for example, has ADU guidelines that must be followed to keep things legal. All right, number 4, short-term rentals. Airbnb, midterm, traveling professionals. Now, this is best for high-demand areas, tourist cities, or even near hospitals and schools. Some of the pros are the highest income potential of all hacks. The con, time-consuming management, local ordinances, and income fluctuations. This one's got glitz and glam, but it also comes with a few landmines. Renting out a space on Airbnb or VRBO can bring in major cash. A unit that rents for $1,600 a month on a long-term lease might bring in $3,000 a month on short-term stays. But, and it's a big but, you've got to factor in the cleaning fees, the property management, unless you're the one flipping sheets, occupancy taxes, local restrictions. Some cities limit or ban short-term rentals altogether. Midterm rental tip, if daily Airbnb traffic isn't your thing, consider 30 to 90-day rentals for traveling nurses, remote workers, or relocating professionals. It's more stable, less hands-on, and often just as profitable. Now, this option works great when you've got a spare unit with a private entrance, or when your kids have moved out and you're ready to make that empty room earn its keep. Now, always check the local zoning laws, HOA rules, short-term rental permits, parking restrictions, insurance requirements. Don't assume your plan is legal just because someone on TikTok said so. Do your homework, call the city, and talk to an agent. Hi, I know a guy. Bottom line, There's no one-size-fits-all solution here. There's just a strategy that fits you. Whether you're living with roommates or managing a duplex, renting a basement, or hosting travelers, the goal is the same. Lower your living costs, build wealth, create a foundation for financial freedom. All right, let's talk money. Now, FHA loans with just 3.5% down can use rental income to qualify. VA loans, 0% down if you're eligible. Conventional loans, 5 to 20% down, which are more flexible. Then there are 203K loans, which finance renovations and purchase in one. Down payment assistance, Sacramento has some great programs. Now, when applying for a loan, make sure your lender understands house hacking. Not all do. If you need a referral, hit me up. I got you. Let's talk about what can go sideways. Because even though house hacking can build your future, if you don't go in it with eyes wide open, it can also become a money pit, an emotional mess, or both. So here's a look at the most common mistakes I've seen and a few that I've made myself. Number one, buying a property with no rental potential. Let me be blunt. Not every house is house hackable. Some neighborhoods have HOA rules that ban rentals. Some homes don't have separate entrances, private bathrooms, or functional layouts. Some areas simply don't support the kind of rents that you need to make the numbers work. Before you fall in love with a place, run the numbers. Ask, what's the realistic rent that I can charge? Would I want to live here with tenants? Are there zoning issues that'll kill the idea before it starts? Don't buy the dream home. Buy the right home for your strategy. Number two, underestimating repair costs. It's tempting to think, oh, I'll just do a few cosmetic fixes and it'll be fine. But those little things can add up fast, especially if you're dealing with older properties or units that haven't been maintained. You're not just buying a home, you're buying a mini business. So treat your inspection like a business investment. Budget for repairs and plan for surprises. I always recommend a maintenance reserve, something you tuck away monthly in case the water heater dies or the sewer backs up. Because, spoiler alert, eventually something will break. Number three, not screening tenants properly. Here's where a lot of first-time house hackers mess up. They treat tenant selection like picking a roommate in college. You need more than good vibes. You need background checks, you need credit reports, rental history, employment verification, clear lease terms. I've heard horror stories. Tenants who stopped paying, trashed the place, or refused to leave. Don't skip the due diligence. If your gut says no, don't ignore it. The short-term vacancy is better than a long-term nightmare. Number four, not having a property management plan. Whether you manage it yourself or hire someone, you need a system. Are you collecting rent through Venmo and praying it shows up? Or do you have a lease, due dates, and a late fee policy? Do you have a plan for handling repairs? Who do your tenants call at 10 p.m. when the toilet overflows? You don't need to be a control freak, but you do need structure. Even if you manage it yourself at first, like I do, document everything. Keep receipts, communicate in writing, treat it like the business that it is. All right, getting emotionally attached to tenants. Now, this one hits close to home. In my time as a landlord, I've had to learn some tough lessons. And I'll be real with you. I'm a people person. I like building connections. I care about people. But man, that can backfire if you're not careful. It's easy to make exceptions for someone because you like them. Maybe they remind you of a friend. Maybe they're super polite. Maybe they tell you a heartfelt story about why they're struggling that month. And listen, I get it. You want to help. You want to believe the best in people. But here's the hard truth. I've had to learn the hard way. Just because you have a rental doesn't mean you have unlimited funds. You still have bills to pay, repairs to cover, mortgages to meet. This is your livelihood, not a side project. If you start waiving rent, delaying consequences, or ignoring your own lease terms out of guilt or sympathy, it can come back to bite you hard. And not just financially, it can wear on your energy, your family, and your peace of mind. I've had tenants who were great people, but not great renters. And when push came to shove, they weren't the ones stuck fixing the water heater at 2 a.m. They weren't the ones fronting the cash when the AC broke down. I was. So here's my advice. Be kind, be compassionate, absolutely. But also be strategic. Set clear boundaries, stick to your lease, and treat it like a business, because it is one. You can still be a good person and run a tight ship. You're not a villain for expecting people to follow through. You're protecting your future, your family, and the home that's likely one of your biggest assets. All right, it's time to get tactical. We've talked mindset, strategies, and what to avoid. Now, let's break down the exact steps that you need to follow to pull off a successful house hack, whether it's your first property or your next big move. Number one, set your budget. Start with what you can realistically afford. Don't window shop Zillow listings until you know your numbers. Now, you want to factor in your down payment, your closing costs, emergency fund, renovation costs if needed, and monthly reserves for repairs. Rule of thumb, don't stretch your budget just to make the hack work. The numbers need to make sense from the start, not someday. Number two, get pre-approved with a house hack friendly lender. Remember, not all lenders are created equal. Some don't understand the strategy. Some won't factor in future rental income on your loan application. You want a lender who understands house hacking, knows how to structure the loan based on expected rents, can guide you on FHA, VA, conventional, or 203k loan options. And hey, if you need a great lender, I've got connections. Don't be afraid to ask. Number three, you want to define your strategy. Are you going to go the roommate route? Or are you going to look for a duplex or a triplex? Planning to convert a garage, basement, or an ADU? Or eyeing an Airbnb or midterm rental play? This decision affects everything: your location, layout, budget, and even your personal comfort level. If you hate the idea of shared bathrooms, maybe roommates aren't the move. But a duplex with a long-term tenant, that could work beautifully. Number four, partner with a house hack savvy agent. That's me. You need someone who gets it, someone who can spot rental potential in a property, help you analyze cash flow, guide you through zoning questions, negotiate for inspections and repairs that matter, and keep your long-term goals in focus. I've walked this road myself, and I've helped others walk it too. So don't settle for just any agent. Work with someone who's house hacked before and can help you do it smart. Number five, analyze deals. Run the numbers. This is where the rubber meets the road. Now you want to ask, what's the current rent potential? What are your total monthly costs, like your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and maintenance? What's the cash flow or subsidy you'll get? And how long until you recoup your initial investment? Use tools like Rentometer, Zillow, Rent Zestimate, or even call local property managers to get a rental range. If the numbers don't work, move on. Don't force a square peg into a round hole. Number six, make the offer. When the right property shows up, you act. Make a strong, clean offer, and if possible, include seller credits for closing costs or repairs, contingencies for inspections and appraisal, a clear understanding of the property's condition. Now, when you've done all the prep work up to this point, this part feels exciting, not scary. Number 7, close, rent, and repeat. Pop the champagne, but don't stop there. Once you close, it's go time. Market your rental space, screen tenants with care, get lease agreements signed, and set clear expectations and systems. Then you do it again. Use equity from this property to buy the next one. Rinse and repeat. This is how legacies are built, one property at a time. Number 8, track everything. Treat it like a business. Seriously, this is key. Keep records of rent payments, repair costs, tenant communication, depreciation for taxes, mileage for maintenance trips. Use tools like Excel or Google Sheets. Simple and effective. Stessa or RentReady for landlord software. QuickBooks if you're scaling or self-employed. Remember, this isn't a hobby. It's an income stream. And when you treat it like a business, you'll get business level results. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have a background in finance or real estate. You just need to take intentional, informed steps, one after the other. And I'm here for all of it, whether you're starting out or scaling up. All right, let's recap real quick. House hacking lets you live for less or free while building equity. You don't need a massive budget, just a smart plan. It's how everyday people are becoming real estate investors. If this video helped you, do me a favor, like it, comment below, share it with a friend, and definitely subscribe so we can keep growing this community together. I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you agree or you disagree, or just say, hey, what's up? YouTube loves when we talk to each other, and honestly, so do I. Remember, a single smile is infectious. It can spread joy and cover a mile. I'll see you in the next one.